Hello collective, welcome to my channel. I am MC5DAstrology and Tarot, and this reading is the messages from the inner child. This is the rainbow deck, value of lessons. So this message is solely for the inner child to speak. No matter what age you are in the 3D, you could be technically a child now, or you could be an adult, which again is still a child, but that is a conversation for another video. But again, this is messages from the inner child. I have two different decks when it comes to the inner child. One speaks more towards the inner wounding of the inner child, and then the other speaks more towards the unwounding of the inner child. So if this particular message does not resonate with you, when I do the reading for the messages from the inner child, the clouds touch, the clouds deck is what I think it is. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's the clouds push through deck. So messages from the inner child, the clouds push through deck. That is more heavier energy regarding the inner child. Okay, so that definitely will trigger. I'm telling you now and warning you now. But this particular deck I'm using, messages from the inner child, the rainbow deck, value of lessons. It's a little bit more lighter. And so we're going to go ahead and get into the messages and see what your inner child wants to either remind you of, say, and things like that. All right. Okay, here we go. So the first card out says, they rewarded me, us, with non-materialistic gifts for good grades and behavior equals valuable lesson. Okay, so collective, I'm seeing that you're very appreciative for whoever your parent or guardian was, whoever helped raise you. They showed you the importance of value outside of materialistic things. They made sure you understood that how you are rewarded in this lifetime and how you teach children about reward goes a long way. They're showing me they didn't want you to think that just because you did what is necessary in order to live and survive and thrive in the 3D matrix, that would come with some type of gift or reward. Learning is a privilege. Learning is something that you want to do and you must do in order to grow and ascend. Whether it is your behavior, learning in that area, or whether it has to do academic wise. So I'm seeing this person, this child, feeling very, very humble. I do see the child possibly when they were growing up. I'm seeing two different groups. I'm seeing one group feeling away because all of their environment, so their friends and other kids within their family, they would always get rewarded for this good grades or their behavior, and it was something materialistic given to them, whether it was money, they were bought something, taken somewhere, things like that, and that kind of made you feel away. But as you grew older and as time went on, you realized why your parents handled and parented you the way that they did. Okay, so it's not like they didn't reward you. What they did was they gave you more of words of affirmation. They did more of the emotional fulfillment. So they gave you the tangible versus they gave you tangible, but it's more of an untangible type of gift, meaning that when they told you you were amazing or they were proud of you, if they didn't necessarily write it in a letter, maybe they just said it, that's more of an untangible type of valuable lesson or gift given to you because it's in your memory, all right? So it's something that you can remember for a lifetime. So I see that whoever this child is, your parents just wanted to give you a different type of memory. They wanted to give you something you could remember and take with you for a lifetime. And the reason why they did it this way is because they realized through their own journey of growing up that materialistic things can only go so far. So I'm seeing, for example, a family who may celebrate a birthday and the child gets a whole bunch of gifts, right? And maybe they're 7, maybe they're 15. And as that child gets older, you outgrow that level that you were once at regarding that age. So a gift that you may have gotten, like a bike with training wheels on it, when you're 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 years old, you're not going to necessarily have that same bike, okay? And I do see people in the ether saying, well, hey, I could have passed it down to my children. And that's understandable. That's not the point of the message. It's more so of understanding what you can take with you that will last a lifetime. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of people, yes, they may do hand-me-downs, but regarding this message, it's more so of the hand-me-downs that are non-materialistic, okay? So I'm seeing a group of children who at a point in time didn't understand why their parents rewarded them differently, and they see why now. So to the parents, if you're listening to this, your child just wants to say thank you. Now for another group of you regarding this card, they rewarded me/us with non-materialistic gifts for good grades and behavior equals valuable lesson. I am seeing a group of children who always knew from an early age that non-materialistic things didn't mean anything. They knew that it could come and it could go. And the reason why I'm seeing this is I'm seeing some children who were in a household who may have grown up and they saw that their parents did not have the type of means in order to provide certain materialistic things. And they were very conscious and aware of what their parents were going through, whether their parents said it or not. However, they didn't allow it to dictate their life. They didn't allow it to consume their life. So I'm seeing children just having a deeper level of understanding and compassion and respect and love for their parents because they just realized at an early age that their parents just really could not afford certain things. And it was better for them to be able to keep on the lights or put a hot meal on the table or make sure you had a bed or soap to wash your clothes with or your body with, toothpaste, toothbrush, those more essential things that will go a long way. So because of this, the only thing that they could do when you did get good grades or you did have good behavior was just love on you. I'm seeing love notes. I'm seeing dancing in the living room, having long talks. I'm seeing things of that nature, okay? Now, for a select group of you who can resonate with that message, I do see where your parents, they felt a way about not being able to provide certain materialistic things for you. So I see like a piggy bank where they were saving up for a certain time in your life where they could actually go out and just do something nice for you, whether it was buy ice cream, whether it was to go to an amusement park or just go out to eat or buy you that new shirt you always wanted or that CD, cassette tape, DVD, VHS, or just being able, if you're living in the new now time, being able to have certain apps so you could have subscriptions in order to watch things on television. So I'm seeing just a parent who goes above and beyond for their child and did the best that they could. And I'm seeing that the child is very, very, very appreciative of what you did and how you did it. And they see what you went through, even though you may have not told them all of the aching pains that you were going through as a parent, you still made sure that you gave this child the best childhood possible. So to the parents and also the child watching this at this time, I'm seeing both parties right now just very emotionally fulfilled, because I do see where the child may have not verbalized this to a parent at all, but they kept it internally. And maybe this parent didn't know that this child felt this way. And I'm also seeing the parent in the situation where they just wish that they could have done more. And the child is speaking right now saying you did more than you could have imagined, okay? That was actually very beautiful. All right, next card out. Messages from the inner child, the rainbow deck, a value of lessons. Value of lessons. Whoa. Ooh, that was a lot. We're going to put a lot flew out. Let's reshuffle. All right. Before I move on, I see the inner child wanting to say one more thing and the parent wanting to say something else. The inner child realizes the reason why you rewarded them with non-materialistic things as well too regarding their grades and behavior is because you didn't want them being stuck in a false reality when they went out into the real world. Because when you go out into the real world and you get a job, or you are, even still in school, but maybe in college, things of that nature, master's degree, doctorate degree, when you get into the real world, nobody is giving you candy and flowers all the time because you're doing what you're supposed to do or doing what's expected. So they wanted you not to have expectations tied to learning, tied to your behavior. They wanted you to understand that there was a deeper meaning behind why you got good grades and why you behaved the way you did. And it's because of who you are within inside of you and the morals and the values that were instilled within you before you got here and also when you got here. They wanted you to remember that you are enough. So whether someone gives you your flowers and your roses and tells you you did a good job and just gives you praises, you will know that you are enough. So they were teaching you self-value, self-love, and self-worth, and they didn't want it attached to something materialistic, because had they done it that way, 9 times out of 10, and again, take this message as it applies. If it resonates with you, it does. If it doesn't, it does not. But they didn't want you to equivalate that to any type of value. They didn't want you to look at materialistic things as the number one value before yourself, collective. Okay? All right, next card. I know you are watching me and protecting me from the other side. Wow. Okay, so collective, regarding this child who is speaking, I'm seeing it's very evident that your parent is no longer with you on this side of the realm. They've already crossed over, and you have been in a state of having to remember all of the valuable lessons that were non-materialistic attached to your connection with this parent or guardian. And so I see the child speaking and saying that, I know you're with me. I know you're protecting me. I know you're watching me. But I do see where this child has had a hard time letting go of the flesh of the parent or guardian not being here. I'm also seeing how it's possible that a parent could have lost their child, whether they were of a younger age or just an age in the 3D where people use the saying gone too soon or gone before their time, okay? And I'm seeing where this parent and this child is reflecting on all of the valuable lessons that were instilled. And this parent is really just flabbergasted by what you were able to accomplish and do before you left, okay? And also vice versa. This child is just flabbergasted on how amazing their parent or guardian was to them regarding a lot of valuable lessons that were taught to them. I'm also getting some energy, a little resentment energy, and take this as it applies. But I am seeing energy on the board. It could be coming from the child's perspective or the parent's perspective, where they feel like they didn't protect their child in the way that they would have liked. They wanted to also just do more for that child, and they're wondering if what they did was enough. And I'm here to tell you, parent, whether you're on this side of the realm or the other, this child is very appreciative of everything that you've done. You did more than enough. Now, for some of you, and I'm going to use the word trigger warning to give you a trigger, this child, regarding how energy works when it crosses over, the 3D version of themselves is speaking, okay? Not the 5D and above, not the energy that is no longer here, but the 3D of them is speaking. And this is just conversation that was never had or left unsaid between you guys and the 3D. I do see a child feeling a type of way because they felt as if you were not available to them in the sense of being able to provide materialistic things in order for them to have more. But they understand now, being on the other side, that you had to really work. You were working, and some of you guys, I'm seeing for the parents, maybe you worked multiple jobs. You were just trying to get by, but that was your form of being able to protect them. Your job was to make sure that they had a roof over their head, again, the basic necessities. So at this time, what I'm seeing is the resentment has more to do with the environment, you guys, because when you go out into the world, a lot of the times you don't really know what you don't have until you see others who do have it. Then it becomes an aha moment, and then you start to self-reflect. You start to have many questions. So I see when this child was old enough to really be around other people, this could have happened in a school setting. They just went into the world in general and saw other people with things that they never had. And that is what sparked the conversation about materialistic things. So they didn't realize at the time that the way that they were living regarding their finances that were coming in and out the house compared to someone else was completely different. So it was really an unfair comparison is what the child is wanting to say now. They didn't understand the bigger picture of what was going on within the household. So it was more so of feeling possibly teased in school or just looking at other kids and just feeling sad, more so that they didn't have those things growing up. So for the parents who may be cross-watching this, is what I like to call it, it had more to do with just the fact that they saw it and knew that the access was there. But for them in their particular situation, taking what was going on in the home, it was more like access denied, okay? So I am seeing that within the conversation. So I do see a child wanting to be honest about their thoughts and feelings regarding what they may or may not have had growing up. And because whether it is you on the other side or them on the other side, again, take it how it applies. Either way, now, after time has passed, they're saying, I know you're watching me and protecting me from the other side. So I see now they're realizing that you're way more valuable. A life is way more valuable than any materialistic thing that could have been given to them in this lifetime. I just see this child or this parent wishing that their child or their parent were here to be able to see their success. I want to let you know that they do. When you cross over to the other side, they're able to see much more than we know, all right? So please know that they are very proud of you and they hear you when you say this. All right, that was very beautiful. All right, let's get one more message. Messages from the inner child. What is the message? Okay, well, 3 cards just flew out, so I'm going to take all 3 because I want to be obedient and see what the divine wants you guys to know, and I see why. Okay, the first card out is I'm grateful. The second card out is I was taught self-love, not self-hate. And the third card is they made it look easy. Okay, so this is coming from the child's point of view. I'm hearing as the child that they didn't realize what it took to be a parent. They didn't really know the ins and outs and the ups and downs that their parent or parents or guardian, again, take it how it applies, went through. Because now when they look back at the situation, no matter how old they are, you, the parents, whoever you are, if you're watching this, you made it look so easy. You made it look so easy. And I'm seeing a child who may be a little bit older now as an adult realizing that no, it's not easy. Maybe this child who now is an adult has their own children, and now they're seeing just how graceful you were with how you carried yourself or how you handled the household, okay? And so they're saying, I'm grateful. This child is very grateful for you making it look easy because they're still to this day trying to figure out how you did it. And I see them laughing because I'm laughing now. So now they're in a state of just looking back. You know how you can, what's the saying where in the a year from now, or, you know, in the moment we may not be able to laugh about this, but give it some time, and when we look back, we'll be laughing on it. Something like that. I probably didn't get it all the way correct. But that's the energy of the child. I'm getting the inner child, that your inner child wants your parent to know that they made it look easy, that you really didn't know that you did or did not have, right? That to you, they protected you. To you, they gave you abundance. To you, everything was peaches and cream to a certain degree, okay? And I'm seeing that this inner child was taught through the direction of this parent self-love versus self-hate. And they are just very grateful for your patience and how you love them and how you nurtured them and the lessons that you instilled in them. Because I'm picking up on a collective who have children. Now they can take those lessons and they can teach it to their own children about self-love and self-hate. And what I'm getting with the self-love and self-hate regarding I was taught self-love, not self-hate, it goes deeper than just those words. It has to do with no matter what you have or do not have in the 3D, that you are more than enough. This parent taught this child that inner love, inner everything comes first. And because of that, they now understand how valuable they are. They know that they are irreplaceable. And they are so grateful that you taught them this type of lesson. And you made it look so easy with how you did it. So collective, that is a very, very beautiful message. So your inner child right now it just seemed like it just wanted to have a conversation with their parent or their guardian regarding things that may have not been said out in the open. And I'm also getting energy, whether you are the child or you are the parent, because again, I can speak to this side of the realm and the other side of the realm. I'm just picking up on you wanted the other person, the other energy, to know how important and what they did for you. And so that's a beautiful thing. So collective, I am going to leave it here. And again, my eyes just went back to the card. They made it look easy. And it is something about your inner child wanting to get to a point in life where no matter what they go through, no matter what happens, they make the transition look easy. So I'm seeing an inner child just really admiring their parents. And I'm also seeing a parent really admiring their child regarding how they handle situations, how they maneuver through connections, and how they're going about living within their purpose. All right. So until next time, collective, it was a pleasure kicking it and catching a vibe with you. Again, this is the messages for the inner child, the rainbow deck value of lessons. If this message resonated with you in any type of way, make sure you share, like, subscribe, and turn on your post notification bells. And if you were listening and it may have not been the message for you, but while you were listening, somebody came to mind or people came to mind, that means that maybe that energy needs to hear it. So feel free to send this reading to them so that way they're able to connect not only with their inner child, but also with their parent. All right. So until next time, collective, I will catch you in the next reading.